We are now having rumors, and yes, I know there's plenty of rumors that I've been covering, so take it with a grain of salt, that Star Wars Outlaws for Ubisoft has sold abysmally when it comes to the Star Wars IP. And you can't forget that Ubisoft has a rumor again, a reported budget that was leaked by insiders of over $100 million to produce this game, with a lot of monetary values being thrown out there between 200 and 300 million dollars for this game. And what did that get us? It got us a buggy mess where during the launch date, people were required to essentially restart their whole playthrough because of these game breaking bugs in order to solve that. And that has led to Outlaws being reportedly only selling 1 million copies as of to date. And it's been out for a month. This is absolutely atrocious when it comes to a AAA title release, especially carrying the name of Star Wars in it. And it just shows you that you can throw hundreds of millions of dollars at the wall, but at the end of the day, it is a wall. You're not going to produce anything of value. And in this case, it is going to be the incompetency of Ubisoft. Perhaps the talent shortage is a thing when it comes to the gaming industry, because we continue to get products that are not made or finished when they are released, and yet you're having people spending $60 to $70 on a unpolished game. So if you were to put that into total, Ubisoft has made around $60 to $70 million so far off of this game. And if the rumors are true of having a budget between 200 and 300 million dollars, they are in the hole by a lot. And before we get into the article, please don't forget to subscribe, like, or dislike. It doesn't matter. It helps this channel, and I much appreciate it. So as the article starts, a new rumor claims that Ubisoft only sold 1 million copies total for Star Wars Outlaws, far lower than any analyst expectations of 5 million. This rumor comes from Grant Taylor Hill at Insider Gaming, who reports, "We have secured a current sales figure from sources close to the game. At the time of writing, Star Wars Outlaws has just ticked over 1 million sales worldwide. As noted by Hill, Assassin's Creed Mirage reportedly sold 5 million copies after 3 months." And if anything, this is continuing to ruin the IP of Star Wars and the franchise, because the damage is already done. I think a lot of people have moved on from this IP. The last good thing that has come out of Star Wars, I think, was Battlefront 2, at least the end portion of it. And then again, EA cut access to that, even though it was getting really good. It did have the controversy at its launch with those loot boxes and all that kind of stuff, but they ended up making a good game. But we still are seeing that this IP is being mishandled by both Disney, hiring people that don't like Star Wars, which is kind of funny because you have Andor, on the other hand, being the best content when it comes to Star Wars that has been released so far by Disney. And yet the person who is heading that whole production is a guy who doesn't like Star Wars. It's absolutely ironic. This appears to be even worse than initial reports. Games industry writer Christopher Drink noted that according to the UK sales chart, that Star Wars Outlaws had done about half of Assassin's Creed Mirage. And at this point, Ubisoft was already starting to taint its name with Mirage, and yet they still were able to get over 5 million units sold. But on the other hand, you have Star Wars, a brand that should be succeeding in every way, shape, and form, and bringing in billions of dollars to all of these developing companies that continue to make these games, as well as Disney producing the entertainment content. Yet they can't do that because this IP is already tainted, as I've stated before. It is also clearly significantly lower than what market analysts were expecting. Barclays' Nick Dempsey suggested that Ubisoft would sell around 5 million units back during the company's Q1 fiscal year 2024 sales report in May, and he thought that number was conservative given Ubisoft's bullishness on the game, despite multiple warning flags that the game was in trouble. And this is what caused Ubisoft's stock price to mainly tank by 13.5%, going all the way down to about $2.50 a share, because of the disaster launch of this game that this company was hoping to bank on it. But again, because of the incompetency, the release of the game in its buggy state, And again, the constant negative media that was covering this game, it drove a lot of potential consumers away because at the end of the day, people aren't pre-ordering games as they once were because you don't have that confidence in these developing companies in hoping that they produce a good game that when it's launched, it is in a finished state that has little to no bugs. But that is not the case. And I don't think the main disaster of this game is that the game has a female lead. Sure, the model of the character may be absolutely terrible and doesn't represent the voice actor in one form. On the other hand, you had Black Myth Wukong having female characters in that game representing their counterparts or voice actors absolutely perfectly. But it's also all this other stuff compounding over time when it comes to the IP, just people being sick of it, people not wanting to buy a game that has countless of times negative coverage on it because of the bugginess as well as the incompetency of the studio. And with all that in mind, don't forget to subscribe, like or dislike, and share, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Bye bye.